welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Kevin O'Sullivan. You watch us together on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan. We had quite a show this week on Monday talking all about the Prince Andrew and Prince Harry stuff. Can I tell you that you were right and I was wrong about something that I didn't process?
Oh yeah, you can. What? Go on.
So there's one line that makes it sound like Prince Andrew did say something to Harry about Meghan, but it's jumbled with a bunch of other things. And so I was arguing, well, maybe he didn't say this stuff to Prince Harry. Maybe he said it behind his back. So when Harry and Meghan are like, he didn't say this to, he never said this to Harry. Maybe he didn't say that to Harry, but the one line does make it say, like, he said at least one thing to Prince Harry about Meghan Markle, which was that he was bonkers for not doing his due diligence. Either way, the overall takeaway I'm getting from Harry and Meghan's threat to the Daily Mail and denial is that no one believes it. And every time, feel free to go into the backstory here as I just start talking about all sorts of crazy things with no backstory. Every time Harry and Meghan come out to deny something, I've noticed that the public tends to believe that it's likely true, and they're just offended by it.
Yeah, their denials are like a reverse barometer. If they deny something, you can assume it's true. Now, we have to be slightly careful here. This, of course, is all a reference to Andrew Lownie's incredible book, which is called Entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York. It's all about Prince Andrew and Fergie. And let's say it's not very flattering about them. The Daily Mail is calling it the most explosive, extraordinary royal biography ever, and it really is something. And my God, I mean, it just kicks the hell out of Andy and Fergie. It couldn't be worse about Andrew. It just calls him an oaf who has no idea how to behave, is inappropriate with women, gets drunk, flew the world at taxpayers' expense while cashing in, making money out of strange people in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and all these kind of places. So it's incredibly disparaging about both Andrew and Fergie. Not a peep from Andrew and Fergie. Guess who's suing or threatening to sue? Prince Harry.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's never seen a story that he didn't want to sue about. Now he says that contrary to what the book says, that in 2013 him and Prince Andrew did not have a fight. The book says that they had a big punch-up. Harry got the better of Andrew. Andrew's nose was bloodied on his face, apparently. And the reason for the fight was something unknown that Andrew is alleged to have said behind Harry's back, and Harry was furious. Harry is saying there wasn't a fight. Absolutely wasn't a fight. And therefore...
Even though it makes him sound cool, even though it's like the only thing that's made him sound
I mean, you know, I don't want to encourage violence, but if you've got to hit someone, Prince Andrew, you know, not exactly the worst candidate you could come up with. But he denies that this was 2013. Harry denies they had a fight. And as you said to me on my show the other night, last night, in fact, it's probably more that the book is quite disparaging about Meghan, calls her, you know, sort of backs up the fact that she might have been a bit of a bully and a nightmare at Buckingham Palace while she was there. So Harry is probably once again leaping to the defence of his darling Meghan. But I think what's interesting about this is, yes, he sent a threatening legal letter to the Daily Mail, saying this is not true and I might go to court and all that. Andrew Lownie has said, he's tweeted, I'll see you in court. I look forward to you pursuing this legal action and the disclosures that it may well bring. In other words, Lownie is saying, you want to pursue this, Harry? I got more stuff about Meghan. So I wonder where this threat of legal action from Harry will go. My guess is nowhere.
Right down the toilet.
It will disappear.
let's read what he says about Meghan. Prince Andrew told Harry his marriage to Meghan Markle would not last more than a month and accused his nephew of going bonkers and not doing any due diligence into her past. He openly accused Meghan of being an opportunist and thought she was too old for Harry, adding that his nephew is making the biggest mistake ever. The source said Harry later told William he hated Andrew. That to me is a lot of duh. I think a lot of us watch Meghan Markle shilling Rosé today and think, what an opportunist.
Yeah, well, I think there's this story. I mean, we should sort of stress it's slightly confusing. You put me straight last night. The fight story, which Harry denies, and interestingly, Andrew has not denied, took place in 2013 before Meghan was even on the scene. And then you're right.
Although she was probably Googling Prince Harry.
Yeah. She was
making figure out how to get into a sphere.
Yeah, she was making plans. You know what I mean? Just beginning to weave her spider's web. Anyway, this later incident it's got the ring of truth to me. Andrew saying to Harry what William told him as well. Are you sure about this? Andrew obviously being a bit more blunt about it than William. We know William said to Harry, are you sure? You know, by all means go out with her. Are you sure you want to marry her? Are you sure you're not making a mistake here? And Harry's never forgiven William for that. But it seems as if prior to that, Andrew, in his inimitable style, had told Harry in much more blunt fashion, saying, you're bonkers. you know, she's too old for you. You're making the mistake of your life. Now, we know that if you want to enrage Harry, you know, be even slightly nasty about, even slightly unpleasant about Meghan, he will not have a word said against her. And hence his fury over this story in the book. But I note he's not denying that story, but he's denying the fight. Should be interesting going forward because Andrew Lownie and the Daily Mail are sticking to their guns and they're saying to Prince Harry, you want to take legal action on this? You go right ahead, but you might not like the result.
Yeah. The fact that they need to comment so regularly on things, to me, because yesterday I told you that they responded to my Valentine Lowe interview, and they called it like whatever gossip, harmful gossip. Honestly, it makes them look bored, and it makes you think to yourself, do you guys not have enough to do that you're sitting around responding to every single little? And what about those accusations are so harmful to Harry and Meghan? Because they specifically say that Andrew did not say those things about the Duchess of Sussex in their statement. There have been so many worse things. God, I love Sally Bedell Smith, and I'm so glad they haven't gone after her. But I think that her stories about Lady Elizabeth Anson do more harm for their reputation, considering the fact that it goes into such great detail about the hurt they caused Queen Elizabeth on her deathbed, you know, as she's still trying to fight for her country, still trying to fight for her position. These two are piling on the pain. They respond to such weird stories, like coming after me over my Dolly Parton story, and I just sit back and go, you guys look so bored. Don't you have other things to do? It's your birthday, Meghan. Why are you talking about a Valentine Lowe interview I did 2 weeks ago? It's
very strange, and what you said earlier is the problem. They're denying so much. I mean, what they deny any story that doesn't put them in a good light. You know, most of the stories that they deny, everybody goes, that sounds pretty true to me. And as I said earlier, their denials are becoming a reverse barometer. I've come across people in showbiz like this, where it gets to the point that their denials are like a confirmation of the story. Because they deny everything in such a knee-jerk, ridiculous way. that it's hard to believe them. And you're absolutely right about this couple. I mean, what the hell are they doing in Montecito? Everything that's ever written about them, I reckon they, you know, I mean, never mind about all this as ever lark and everything. I reckon they both get up in the morning and there's probably, you know, stacks of huge newspapers from all over the world, and they spend the first 6 hours of every day going through them to see if there's anything written about them. Yeah,
they do this. I like to imagine that they do it in the movie room. So they're looking at like an IMAX screen where they can monitor tweets about themselves and monitor their Google alerts.
Oh, honestly, it's a bit. Yeah, so they're sort of sitting there going, "What can we deny today? What can we deny today?" It's very unbecoming. It's unsophisticated. I mean, people who are very famous, and they are very famous, to be fair. You know, big Hollywood stars, Her Majesty the Queen, the King now, King Charles. I meant the previous Queen, of course. You know, what you have to do when you're that famous, you have to learn that every day in every way, someone's going to write something about you. And often it's going to be, you know, 10 tons of garbage. It's just not true. But you get to the point that a lot of these people, they just go, oh, you know, come on, move on, move on, move on. Because if you're going to obsess on every word that's ever written about you, which Meghan definitely does, Harry's almost as bad. Let me tell you, Kinsey, that way madness lies. And that's why I think this couple right now are not in a good place. And I don't mean Montecito. That's a very nice place. But you know what I mean. I don't think they're in a good place.
What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills piling up, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. You need to call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise. It's fast, it's simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Call before it's too late. 866-887-1201. That's 866-887-1201, or visit americanfinancing.net/unfiltered. I want to ask you about the idea of a lawsuit, because you and I both agree that this will go nowhere. But okay, potentially it does. We're also looking at September 8th, where Meghan's team is supposed to go head to head with Samantha Markle, Meghan's half sister, in court. Because Samantha has challenged a judge's ruling to throw out her defamation case against her sister. She feels like Meghan, her half-sister, who she grew up with, there's photographic proof. There's her brother, their half-brother, Samantha's full brother, Meghan's half-brother, Thomas Markle Jr., Thomas Markle Sr. They all say, we were actually a very loving family growing up. Why she says that she grew up a single child, you know, none of us can quite process that. But Samantha is trying to argue in the court that Meghan has intentionally defamed her or tried to tear away her credibility in the public eye through things like the Oprah Winfrey interview and through things like the Netflix series. I think she also tried to pursue Omid Scobie's book, but the judge threw that out because it wasn't Meghan directly on camera discussing it. And her point is that Meghan trying to tear down her credibility so publicly, it's hindered her ability to make money and survive. Do you think that'll go? Do you think that will go anywhere? I think morally, I feel like it should, but I don't know. The American court system is so, you know. Yeah, and then also, do you think we'll hear anything from Harry and Meghan about it? Or is this one of the few times where they never complain, never explain, and try to keep their heads down?
It's an interesting case. I think Samantha, I think it's a long shot. But what I do think about Samantha and Thomas Markle Jr., who you know I've come to know reasonably well, is they're very hurt by what she's done to them, as is Thomas Markle Sr. Thomas Markle Sr. is heartbroken. He's absolutely heartbroken that his daughter, that he was once so close to, has just ruthlessly cut him and the rest of the family out of her life. And I still can't quite get my head round why she did this. Look,
yes, you can, Kevin. They did not fit into this new.
Yeah.
She's rewritten her history completely.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you this video. I'm surprised I didn't, where she talks about all the jobs she had as a child. I used to work in this yogurt shop. I used to work in my grandfather's antique store. I used to do this. I used to do that. And it's just like, no, you didn't. Why do you keep trying to rewrite history? Yeah. I used to work at BB. I used to do that. First of all, if she had all of these a million jobs as a child, A, I'm sure that there are child labor laws. Yeah. But B, why are none of these former co-workers coming out going like, yeah, she was a real terror at BB. Yeah. I just think that she is so busy trying to rewrite her history, and her family isn't beautiful enough, successful enough.
Exactly.
They just don't meet her standards for this new fake life she's trying to build, and she's trying to make us all swallow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with that. That's what this process has been about. They do not, the two Thomases and Samantha, do not live up to the image that Meghan is trying to create for herself. I mean, this is, if not a blue-collar family, a solid, you know,
they're hard-working,
middle class, hard-working American family. You know,
and she would not have anything she has if it weren't for her father, his blood, sweat, and tears, working in Hollywood, starting from the bottom and ending up on one of the #1 primetime shows, Married with Children. He's not a Nepo baby like Meghan. He had to kick down his own doors, and she pretends like the man doesn't exist. He gave her the platform that allowed her to meet this man who totally changed her life.
Yeah, I mean, what I was trying to get at about this situation is I know why she's done it, because she's trying to act like, you know, she's an aristocrat.
Like Princess Diana.
Yeah, that she's Princess Diana, and her family don't fit in with that image. I understand why she's done it, but what I can't get my head around is just how breathtakingly ruthless and heartless she has been in this process. I mean, her dad is in his 80s. He's had, I think, 2 strokes and a heart attack. I mean, I hope he lives forever, but let's face it, this guy may not have long, and she still won't talk to him. It's the jaw-dropping extent of her ruthlessness when it comes to her family that I find difficult to get my head around. I mean, what did Thomas Markle Sr. do wrong? I mean, big deal. So he got conned a bit by a smooth-talking paparazzi who took some pictures of him that Meghan didn't like, and that's it. What was that now? 6-7 years ago? And she's never spoken to him since. It's bizarre. It's bizarre, and it is a window into the mentality of this woman. And she doesn't come out of it well. And she's still trying to create this image. Oh, look at me, I live in my lovely house and my kids, and, you know, as a great cook, and I'm a great cook, and I made these TV shows, and as ever, isn't it all fantastic? No, this is a house of sand, and it doesn't stack up. It's not real. It's an image. It's fake, and people can see right through Meghan for this.
Didn't Thomas Markle Jr. tell you that it was less about the photos and more about the fact that Thomas Sr. refused to cut off and disassociate with Jr. and Samantha?
Yes, he did. I mean, yes. Well, that's Thomas Markle Jr.
More sinister. It's almost more sinister, right? To imagine somebody having the ability to say, I want you to never talk to your DNA children again that you love and raise, and you have to pick my side. That's crazy.
Yeah. The funniest thing, I'm getting to like old Tom Markle Jr., and we've done quite a few interviews. He's still over in the Philippines with his dad. But I asked him once about, Meghan being the domestic goddess and the cooking and all that. And he goes, "Oh, God, she can't cook. Her cooking sucks." I mean, I suppose you can learn along the way. But Thomas Markle Jr., is very annoyed about this false history she's created for herself. And it's if you think about it, we are watching a kind of strange process. This woman is a very strange person, trying to portray a portrait of perfection. And that portrait of perfection cannot include, in her mind, shall we say, less than perfect family. All of our families are less than perfect, obviously. We're all less than perfect. Meghan seems...
I think you're pretty great.
Yeah. Well, apart from me, everybody is less than perfect. But seriously, Meghan can't cope with that. She's got to persuade us somehow that she is perfect, that everything in her life is perfect. That comes back to why she's going through all the papers and issuing statements about every single thing that's ever written about her, because most of the stuff that's written about her punctures her portrait of perfection. And she can't take that. It's very weird, Kinsey. It's very weird.
Well, let's move on to this other story. It's almost kind of a no-brainer why royal family is reluctant to reconcile with Meghan despite Prince Harry peace talks. And the source tells the Daily Express, well, they don't trust her, obviously. But just kind of piggybacking off of what we were just talking about, it's not odd to you that they accuse the royal family of racism, which is pretty terrible in association with a grandchild, although we do not believe that. And they're hurrying to reconcile with this family, yet Meghan Markle cuts her father off over allegedly paparazzi photos, and she's not eager to reunite with her own father. Doesn't it tell you that there's an agenda in general when it comes to a reconciliation with Harry's family only? This isn't some kind of come to Jesus where they realize that their babies are growing up without cousins and that they're going to resent them one day for it. It's really you want something from this family.
Yeah, I think, as I've always told you, I don't think Meghan will ever step foot back in this country, Britain, ever again. I don't think she ever wants to see the King or William or any of the rest of the royal family ever again. And I don't think she's particularly keen on the idea of Harry forging some kind of solo reconciliation without her. So this talk about, the royal family, they certainly won't encourage any kind of rapprochement if Meghan's around, but they might do a deal with Harry. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. First of all, Harry, as far as I can see, for the foreseeable future, is going to come as a package with Meghan. He won't do anything that she doesn't want. He has to be at her side. So if the royal family do want a peace deal with Harry, it's got to include Meghan. Therefore, the royal family won't want it. They don't want to see her ever again either. But I believe, led by William, the royal family's fury about Harry knows no bounds. William will never forgive him. Never forgive him for what he said, for calling them racists, calling his wife a racist. That's it for William, and William will lead the way on this. The King, he's a soft soul, soft-hearted guy. He might sort of want some kind of relationship with Harry. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Or just the grandkids.
Yeah,
Let me know my grandbabies.
But that. But it's not the fact that Meghan's a deal breaker. And if Meghan's not around, they might do some kind of arrangement with Harry. Harry on his own, they're not going to do a deal with. Harry's broken the bridges. He really has. And when the King has come to the point where he won't talk to his son, that is massive, because the King's not like that. The fact that the King has completely cut Harry off proves how far Harry crossed the line. because the king is not easily enraged, but he's enraged. Camilla can't stand Harry. William, we know if he ever sees Harry again, it'll be too soon. Kate doesn't want to be in the same postcode as him. So this idea that, oh, as long as Meghan's not around, Harry, perhaps, the royal family are warming to the idea of a peace arrangement with Harry, absolute garbage. That isn't going to happen. They're both pariahs. And it ain't going to happen. There'll be no peace deal, I'll tell you that.
Okay, one headline that shocked me more than the actual topic they were talking about is, oh my gosh, the royal family didn't wish Meghan Markle a happy birthday. We've known for years that the royal family only wishes happy birthday to working royals or people under the umbrella of working royals, like a Prince George or a Prince Louis or a Princess Charlotte. But don't worry, because Meghan Markle wished herself a happy birthday. I know that you were worried that she wasn't going to get any love, but
amazing.
She did. It's called self-love. And it said, celebrating the woman behind it all. She pours her heart, vision, and magic touch into every detail. And today we raise a glass to her. Happy birthday to our founder, Meghan. Is the loose fruit spread the magic touch, Kevin? That's what I need to know. What's so magic about As Ever? Everybody that I've spoken to, including you, have been like, it's fine, but if I never taste it again, I'll survive.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think about As Ever. It won't last forever. It won't last very long at all. I believe that her desperate attempts to persuade us it's an absolute flying success are just that. It's a pretense. I don't think it's successful at all. I mean, it's not offering anything that's worth a light. But the post on Instagram from the As Ever team wishing Meghan a happy 44th birthday. It's just unbelievable. I mean,
it's clearly Meghan, right?
Yeah, it's Meghan. Observers have said, look, read that message. That is pure Meghan word soup. She pours her magic and her vision into everything she does. I mean, that's Meghan all over. So she's organising this effusive happy birthday to herself, in which it is stated what a fantastic person she is. She's organised this to herself. What kind of human being does that? What kind of a person is she? It's like I keep saying to you, Kinsey, we are dealing here with an A-grade weirdo. We really, really are. But since nobody else has really done it, let me be the... I don't know, the second, or is it the third person to wish Meghan a very, very happy birthday. There you go.
Okay. That's like your one good deed of the year. How sweet of you. There's the sacrifice I love to see you make. But you're right. Other people are saying this too. I sent you this email I got last night in my inbox. Tom Sykes of the Daily Beast titled "As Ever's Instagram praising Meghan is so lame." There's a reason CEOs don't usually use their company's social media to write fan fiction about themselves. It's fake and everyone knows it. Someone tell Meghan. And it says, an Instagram praising Meghan Markle's magic touch and saying she is the woman behind it all that appeared on her business's As Ever page today feels weird, like you said, and inauthentic. The caption accompanying the new black and white, the caption accompanying a new black and white photo of Meghan looking rich in her fancy garden. That's another one of your points, how everything just looks so perfect. So, so retouched. Retouched is how I would explain Meghan Markle's life. Celebrating the woman behind it all. She pours her heart, blah, blah, blah. If I didn't confess that I think it was actually written by Meghan or an in-house bot forced to watch the whole of With Love, Meghan, and then regurgitate Meghanisms, I would not be sharing my truth, he says. Another Meghanism, my truth. One giveaway is the diction that this mysterious, anonymous, yet surprisingly well-informed well-wisher uses to praise Meghan. While you can pour your heart and soul into a project, we don't typically talk about pouring our vision into something. And when was the last time you heard someone say, I poured my magic touch into that? It's a telltale sign of a vintage Meghan word salad. The one thing I wouldn't do if I worked for Meghan Markle is post a message about her on social media unless it was her idea and she had approved it. I mean, it
That was
is,
her, all right. That was her, all
yeah,
right. I mean, when she goes out, she put her vision and her magic into this. She's flogging jam and
yeah.
wine and cookie dough and dried flowers. You don't need vision and magic for this. This is just a down market domestic product company that no one in their right mind is going to buy stuff from, because I keep saying it. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in my face. For example, she's bringing out a new version of Chateau Meg, her extremely strong hooch, her rosé wine fallover juice, 14.5% alcohol. That is strong. You drink enough of it, you'll forget the taste. But seriously,
Drink enough of it, you'll call yourself a duchess.
yeah, exactly right. But seriously, I keep saying it, but it's so obvious. If I need any cookie dough, if I need a bottle of rosé wine, if I need some dried, I go to the grocery store next door, I'll go to the 7-Eleven. I'm not going to fill out a form, give my credit card, send off, wait for 3 weeks, and when it turns up, it's cost about 50 times more than what I can get at the grocery store next door. Who wants to pay $110 for 3 bottles of rosé? The grocery store is going to have 3 bottles of rosé, $20 if you're lucky. You know, it's ridiculous. This company cannot work. It could work if she was wildly popular. But I think we all know the thing about Meghan is she is not wildly popular. So this is an unpopular woman trying to persuade people to spend a fortune on boring everyday products they could buy next door for much cheaper. That ain't much of a business model. And worse than that is the strange business model she has of nothing ever being available. I believe that her new rosé goes on sale today when we're filming this. I guarantee you that by the time we've finished filming this, there'll be no more available. It will have sold out, right?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're right. And to your point about how expensive it all is, the Daily Mail did a story about those Netflix houses that are going to pop up, a few locations around the country, I think one in Philly and one in Dallas, and how they are potentially going to stock Meghan's products, allegedly. And they said that the people that will be working them will be making less an hour than the products themselves. Like the people that are going to be working within these venues can't even afford the product, really. I just don't understand, based on how infrequently it's available to actually purchase and the price point, how there's any longevity in this. But we don't talk enough about how we would have never predicted this pathway for her.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Tom Bauer did say she was hawking her own kind of foodie show before she met Prince Harry. Like he does say that, but this is the same woman that sat on stage and tried to talk about the Time's Up movement, which got under Catherine and William's skin because they were like, girl, don't bring your politics up here. We're trying to talk about like real things, not how much money Reese Witherspoon is making per film. And then, you know, she was trying to come off as this, I'm about to take over the world feminist, you know, writing words on bananas that she was passing out to sex workers. But
I remember that. I forgot about that.
And then, you know, telling us to the point that we could regurgitate the story ourselves about being this 11-year-old girl who wrote Procter and Gamble and demanded that they change the words of a commercial about women all over the world being stuck at home scrubbing their pots and pans, which was actually a school project, we believe, not just Meghan feeling inspired. It's a school project. So it was an assignment that she was told to do or she was going to not get credit. And changing the world because she changed one soap commercial. You know, you're saying, oh my gosh, women should not be confined to the kitchen, and yet you've built an entire brand in the kitchen.
Exactly right. Now, Procter and Gamble, of course, have always said they've got no record of this letter. They have no recollection of this ever happening. So that's another Meghan story that we should certainly be circumspect about. But you know, this was the woman when she was hooking up with Harry after they got married, particularly after they you know, did a bunk and run away from Britain to set up home in America. They said, Archwell Foundation, we're going to change the world, we're going to make things better, we're going to make this a better place and all this. And what's she doing? What is it now, 5 years on? She's flogging wine. And she's flogging...
And teaching us how to make bath salts that burn people,
mean,
according to the internet.
Yeah, I mean, this is... low-slung work. I mean, you know, if she makes a fortune from it, good luck, but it's boring. These are everyday, dreary domestic products, and one does not pour one's vision and one's magic into everyday, dreary domestic products. This is a business that I don't think is going to last very long, but it is the smallness of what it is. You know, this is a woman who is going to change the world. We're going to make the world a better place. We're going to help the vulnerable. We're going to help the underprivileged. We're going to combat poverty. We're going to help Africans. We're going to help people all over the world. And what's it all boiled down to? Buy my booze. It's $110. That's what it's boiled down to. I mean, it's kind of sad and tragic. I wish her well.
It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And you've lived here. You've seen Skid Row. You watch what Prince William is doing in the UK, building these units to help people transition from homelessness to hopefully getting on their feet. And you hear Prince William talk about how it was inspired by his mom taking him to homeless shelters late at night with Prince Harry, and realizing that their life was a privileged one. And you think to yourself, you've got Skid Row here. The homeless crisis is worse than it's ever been in the state of California. Governor Gavin Newsom put away millions of dollars for the homeless crisis that have disappeared. No one knows what that money went towards. Where's Harry and Meghan to step in and do something so meaningful like that? I mean, I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Well, Harry is still droning on about a life of service. Life of service. What is he talking about? The only people those two are serving is each other. You know, she has no life of service. She's trying to make a fast buck by conning people into paying an enormous fortune for very average products that she pretends are basically homemade but are actually produced in factories. That's all she's doing. She's trying to sort of cash in on being a duchess or something. And God knows what the hell it is he's doing, but it's not a life of service. I mean, he says in the new year, in spring, he's got a commercial venture. That's a bit odd, isn't it, if you think about it? If you've got a commercial venture in mind, why are you going to wait till next spring? Why don't you get going now, Harry? Why don't you sort of just do something, you know, as opposed to just firing off legal letters, which seems to be your hobby? It's strange, isn't it?
It is, but they have made a significant amount of money and lost a significant amount of money through the court system. So
exactly.
Maybe it's like gambling for him, you know, win some, lose some. There's a,
you know those courtrooms, Kinsey, they're a crapshoot, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You win some, you lose some. It is almost, we're laughing about it, but it does almost seem to be Harry's attitude to launching legal action. Will we win? Will we not win? Will you win some, you lose some? One day, roll the dice. Let's see what happens. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? That is not a wise way to approach legal action, because as Harry found out with his long-running, incredibly expensive legal action to try and get armed police protection when he comes to Britain, going to court is an extremely pricey procedure. It costs you a fortune. He's lost millions on all of that. But, you know, I mean, I can't quite understand what his attitude is to all these legal actions, but looks like he's going to carry on taking them. But I mean, why is he doing them? Is it because, call me cynical, that there is literally nothing else going on in his life?
I think it's that, but I also think that it is a tool of intimidation, and they are trying to teach the media how to treat them. And so they're saying, if you mess with that, because I've told you 1,000 times how disappointed I am in the amount of entertainment media sites and outlets out here that cater to them still. That will be like, Meghan Markle's rosé sold out, and you're like, oh my God, acknowledge that there's 5. Acknowledge that she sold 5 cases, okay?
Yeah.
But I think that it's a way for them. I think the same thing's going on with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds right now. Blake Lively sending subpoenas to YouTube content creators in association with this Justin Baldoni case that happened years ago. These YouTube content creators like only started generating content based on this drama in December, when she spoke to a news, or when she worked with a news outlet to break this case. And so now all of these people that are just like me are having their emails, their text messages summoned, their bank statements, because Blake Lively's trying to prove that there's some organized smear campaign against her. You know who else uses the term smear campaign? Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I just feel like there's this, when you get these powerful entities, these celebrities, I think that they recognize their power, but they're trying to intimidate us, and they're trying to teach us how we're allowed to communicate about them. And I see that a little bit in Harry and Meghan. I think that they're trying to teach us a lesson sometimes when they do this stuff.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, celebrity journalism, you know, is a sort of ravenous animal that is, you know, needs to be fed all the time. And a lot of celebrity magazines, a lot of celebrity journalists, they don't question too much. If they get some kind of little release from Meghan saying she's upset about this, or she's launching that and her wine's sold out, they just, you know, they got pages to fill. They do this. Now, the thing is, as Harry will no doubt learn, the Daily Mail is not a celebrity magazine. The Daily Mail will stand up for itself in this legal threat. Let's make sure that we understand that. This is not a lawsuit. This is a threat of legal action. That's different to legal action. The Daily Mail will stand up for itself. The author, Andrew Lownie, will stand up for himself and his book and the newspaper. And Harry and Meghan will find out 100% that there are publications, particularly in Britain, that they cannot manipulate, and they won't like it.
Well, I think that's a great point to end on. Agree with us, disagree with us, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And you can catch me and Kevin on The Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan on YouTube Mondays and Thursdays. Thanks everyone for watching.